I don't think there's anything to argue about anymore. While Ronda Rousey is clearly a work in progress when it comes to being a professional wrestler, she is miles ahead of the curve considering where she should be. And if she keeps doing this week in, week out and has a long tenure with the WWE, she's probably going to become a great wrestler. This is good. She's also been cutting some pretty decent promos that are filled with fire and filled with emotion, and we never get to see that in WWE anymore in 2018. But with that said, few of the words that have slipped out of her mouth, coupled with some other issues, well, Ronda Rousey may actually be turning herself heel. Why? Here's why. Now, I've been quite high on Ronda Rousey ever since she arrived because I just think the whole situation is so damn cool. Here we had a legit celebrity and an MMA superstar wanting to jump across to pro wrestling and give it a proper go. You can't criticise that. Even if she had come in and absolutely sucked, which she hasn't, you can only ever regret the things you don't do. That's like a life lesson we should all take on, put in our hearts, put in our souls, and walk down the road going, I'm going to do everything so that when I'm old, man or woman, whatever, I won't regret nothing. However, the last few weeks, I don't know, man, something weird is going on, and it does start with these promos. Now, it has been said that she's writing them herself along with Paul Heyman, and I can see that, I can feel that. It doesn't sound like somebody giving her a script and saying, Ronda, you should read this. It sounds like Ronda actually trying to talk. It just makes it all so much more believable because it is her voice. Really, this should be the way for the entire roster because whether you sink or whether you swim, at least you're just not reciting verbiage that sound like it was written by a 12-year-old. But I have totally lost track with where Ronda is headed because she feels away at sea, and that has to be noted. I mean, what was she talking about a couple of weeks ago with the millennial man and skinny jeans and avocado on toast? At one point she was relatable. When all that stuff comes out into the atmosphere, that is not relatable, and I sat there going, I don't understand what's going on. I mean, let's read it. Let's actually read it word for word. She said, you are the skinny jeans wearing, V-neck sporting, avocado toast munching, wingtip wearing, millennial man with a bubble-wrapped ego and a porcelain self-perception. What? If you had that kind of conversation with somebody in the real world, they would stare at you blankly before turning around and just walking away. They wouldn't even say goodbye because their brain would just be shouting at them, you need to get out of here, something has gone very wrong. I mean, it doesn't make any sense given that the term is usually used to describe a generation of people, and given that Ronda Rousey was born one day after Becky Lynch, well, Ronda, we could call you a millennial as well, couldn't we? I mean, those words didn't actually describe Becky Lynch at all anyway, but also on top of that, I'm sure a lot of people that do watch WWE probably fit into this millennial category and don't appreciate being called millennials. So when you start saying the word millennials and treating it like some kind of negative aspect, they may look at you, Ronda, and say, you know what, I don't really like this girl anymore. I think she's coming at me. What did I do? I didn't do nothing. Throw in that she started to use eviscerated, and I'm gone. I don't know what I'm meant to take away from this. Who on earth says the word eviscerated? If somebody said the word eviscerated to me, I'd be terrified. Like, I think this person may be trying to kill me. This continued onto social media too. The rise of Becky Lynch and the popularity that she's been met with over the past few weeks obviously didn't help this situation at all. All of a sudden, all WWE fans wanted was Becky Lynch, but still, when Lynch is on Twitter firing out these shots as if she built the damn gun, and Ronda's replies are a bit like, I don't think you should have said that, it doesn't really work, again, you're going to start turning the tide. Getting really mad about wanting to defend her championship despite what condition she was in, which you got to imagine has to be a dig at Becky Lynch, to countless jobs at the man that didn't hit home. All of this culminated with Rousey rolling into Survivor Series that was in her hometown of California and getting booed, while Charlotte, who was kind of built like the new Becky Lynch, got absolutely cheered. There's plenty of caveats to that, of course. The fans that night just wanted to see the SmackDown Women's Champion, so when they knew they couldn't, they picked Flair as like the stand-in and thought, well, we'll just cheer you instead. Also, WWE allowed Charlotte to put a badass beating on Ronda Rousey, and as we know in 2018, if you allow any wrestler to do that, they are going to get over with the fans. And then when Rousey came out the following night on Raw, to me, she just felt really bitter about the whole thing, and apparently there was some shenanigans that she was actually upset with the fans because she'd get booed, and we don't know how true that is. That was just murmurings and like little smidgens in the wrestling world, but it was out there. It kind of was etched upon her face just a teeny little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but it looked like it. There's nothing wrong with that either. If you want to be pissed off with the crowd, be pissed off with the crowd, but tying it into the title of this video, acting that way is probably going to turn you into a bad guy. We should also talk about the fact she took Becky Lynch's new nickname of the man and started to make it about gender. As I said on Ups and Downs weeks, maybe even months ago, that that isn't what this was about. Becky Lynch wasn't actually saying that she was a man. She was saying that she was the man because she'd beaten Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte Flair's dad was Ric Flair. He used to walk around going, woo! To be the man, you got to beat the man. And because Becky Lynch had won and beat Charlotte, that makes her the man. So when it seems like Ronda Rousey hasn't gone to grips with that and is making it once again a man-woman thing, you know, millennial man, we talked about it, which also I thought was Chris Jericho. I thought he was the millennial man. I'm kidding. It does paint her as the heel because it just does. That's just how society operates. But fair play to Rousey as well. I don't want this video to be a massive knock on her because I think right now she's absolutely smashing it, especially because she clearly told Becky Lynch and Charlotte to a lesser degree, if you want to come at me on Twitter about my MMA past, you absolutely can. And if you know anything about Ronda, you know at the time, that was a really difficult period for her. But with that in mind, could this be her reacting in a similar way to when she did suffer that UFC loss? I mean, maybe, maybe not. Maybe in a few weeks we look back and go, oh, it was just a matter of circumstance, and now everybody's forgotten about it and we all love Ronda Rousey again. Or just to play devil's advocate, which is what we do here on the Y series, maybe it's just a Miz situation. Some people enter the world of pro wrestling and they're just better bad guys because naturally that's what comes out of you. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, The Miz does it, Randy Orton does it, Triple H does it. Like I say, some people are just good at that. And once the novelty of Ronda Rousey being a pro wrestler wears off, you need something else. If that is, you know, what you feel deep inside, go with it. Become one of the best bad guys ever. It could happen. Really, it doesn't matter either way because face or heel, she's already proven that she wants to do this for a long time. She absolutely can. I mean, who takes to pro wrestling this quick? I mean, there's names like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, and you could, if you wanted to, make the case that Rousey ain't that far behind. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Ronda this week. Just something happened in the air, in the atmosphere, in the ether that made me raise an eyebrow and go, I'm not warming to Ronda Rousey as much as I once was. Maybe she's turning herself heel. 2019 is absolutely going to be crazy for the women's division though, and maybe this revolution WWE's been talking about actually comes to a head as the women, through merit and through talent and through skill, and because they damn well deserve it, get to the top of the mountain and stay there. At least I hope so. WrestleMania 35, that's what I want. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, or we can do Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. It's the hottest stuff in the WWE right now. Carry that through to its natural conclusion. You better do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to do anything. I'll make a video. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on over to whatculture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you for watching the Y series. Why don't you go watch other episodes in this series? That's what it's all about. And I will see you soon.